So I told you I was going to show you how I stored my food on my shelves. There are so many rules out there and I completely ignore them. Here's my way. I am adding a shelf this year and I am breaking all the rules. I will have no toppling cans, no bowing shelves, no crashing, and I am not storing back to front. I think the hardest part is building a shelf and finding a place to put it. So I'm going to have to do it in my living room. I've cleared a space, I'm opening the box, and I'm going to sort everything into nice neat piles and pull out the instruction sheet and hope it's very simple. Well, I meant to say finding a place to build it. I know where I'm going to put it, but my living room has the most space right now. We're going to make sure that the small part is down so it sets into the little notches when we attach our shelving part. And I'm going to attach the feet first. It's not that hard. Well, apparently it is. But after a few tries, I do get it to go on. I'm going to do this for this one and for the other four because this will become the base of the shelving unit and it won't scratch my floor. There is footing number 2. Here is number 3 and number 4, and it's time to assemble. Okay, so I hope you can see this. Okay, we're going to attach the railings where the shelf will sit into, but we want to make sure we have it turned the right way. The flat part of the inside needs to be turned up so the shelf sits in it flat. I've done this before and accidentally put it upside down. Now when I first started, I was doing really well. See, okay, the shelf, make sure it's flat on the inside. That shelf will sit right inside of that rail where it's flat on the inside. Like I said, I was doing really well until I was trying to attach the third rail and the entire thing, and the whole thing just falls apart. Even my Bailey feels badly for me. So then I think, okay, I only have 2 hands, no other person. I'm going to think smart, not hard. How about I put this together in 2 pieces, lay it down flat. So I'll do this one side first and then do the other side and try to attach them both. So I'm doing one end and then the other end, and I'm going to see how that works. And victory! The base is secured, which means the rest should be easy peasy. I'm going to count up because I want to know how steep I want my shelf. I want to make sure I can get 2 flats of whatever I have on this bottom shelf. So what I'm doing is, as you guys know, I buy lots of Campbell's Chunky Soup from Publix. So I'm measuring up to see how many flats would be. I'm not going to go find 2 flats. I'm just using what I purchased at the last public haul that you saw. I'm now going to count up the side and see exactly how far that will be, and I'm going to mark it, and that will be my next shelf. Now as I'm doing this, I'm thinking of what I want on each shelf and how tall I need it to be, and I'm counting. Again, it's going to be about 7 because I also like to store baskets. So I'm going to install my next shelf at about 7 holes higher. And here we are. I can now fit a basket there, and I can also fit a basket on the bottom if I wanted to. Okay, so apparently I didn't come to this job prepared because I can't find my hammer, so I take off my shoe to attach the middle part, which holds the top and the bottom together, and these are much better than the old ones were. I'm having trouble. They do recommend a mallet. I really should have used a mallet, but you know what? I've got the next best thing. So I pull out my wedge and I began to just hammer that thing. And if you look, there's a tiny little ledge and it's supposed to sit right on top of the other one, letting you know that is the halfway mark, and it stabilizes it. Now I realized later my hammer was in the car from where I'd taken it to Tennessee. I think it's kind of hard for you to see what I'm doing, so I put up this little screen in front of the window so you can actually see the parts that I'm attaching. And as I attach the second part, I do make sure that the holes are turned in the right direction. If you will notice, you will see I have hammered down far enough the rails to make sure that they are tightly notched so I don't have any problems later. This is my shelving unit with the shelves that were provided to me. If you will notice, there is a huge gap in the middle, and that's because I am going to add 2 shelves. I hate wasted space. The first one measures up perfectly for my half-gallon jars. Okay, if you will notice, it is getting relatively dark, which is fine. But before I stop, I do have to get measurements of the width and the depth of this shelf because I'm going to have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's to get the supplies I need to insert my shelves and to provide support. Okay, well, the prices are definitely cheaper than when I had to buy the wood last time. they're still quite high. This is $29.87 and it's MDF, which is fine. However, if it gets damp or wet, it will just mess up the board. So I do want to make a pretty good investment on this one. That last one at $69 was just outright ridiculous. It was too expensive. I don't feel like spending that kind of money. So I'm going to shoot around and double back and show you what I find and pick up. And we're going to have it cut and take it back home. Now, when you go to your home stores, they do have a discount rack, but it's looking pretty bad today. This is $49. This actually looks pretty good as a piece of pine. I think I'm going to grab this one. Now I head over to nuts and bolts because I want screws long enough to go through to support my shelving unit, and I also want washers to hold the screws in place because the board is very thick. I think I found it, the very, very, very long screws. I'm going to pick up some washers and I will meet you back at home. Okay, quick disclaimer before I start adding my two extra shelves. I did lower that very, very top one because I like that little point up top. You can hang an apron from it. You can hang other things from it. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to hang from it and what I like to hang from it. So here are my tools and here we go. And hindsight, I am going to go back and buy larger washers for the outside bolt. Now I could have pulled up my circular saw, but it really wasn't worth it, so I just used my hand saw. Also, if these shelves were a little bit wider like my other shelving unit is, I would have put two supports under there, spacing them equally to add more support to that. But for this one, I only need one. So I am so excited to have my new shelving unit with all the spacing I need. But before I do, I love my family and friends so much. I mentioned in a video that things that I want and need and don't want to buy for myself, I ask for. I love canning jars. My brother bought the ones up top, plus a ton more. Those are quart jars. He got me pint jars. And there is those are the ones that my son bought me like a year or 2 years ago before we went to Australia, half-gallon jars. Now, these came from a very, very, very dear special friend. I hope you are watching, girl. I love these so incredibly much. They look almost vintage, but they're ball canning jars because in one of my videos I said for birthdays and Christmas, I always ask for canning jars. So that's what I got. So I absolutely love that. Okay, so with that out of the way and my many thank yous and gratitudes, I'm going to start showing you how I set up my shelves and why. I cannot stand this. When I go to reach for something, this is how I started doing it because that's what they said on YouTube and that's what you see all over YouTube. I lose stuff. Things fall. They fall behind the shelf. It's a pain. I have anxiety. I don't feel like reaching around the back to put the back new end and then pull that out. It's just too much work. It's too cumbersome. Not only that, I have lost, the only food I've lost in my pantry has been with pop tops, and it's been from stacking it like this. So I have opted to do something just a little bit different. Not only that, stores don't stock from back to front. They stock whatever they get, they push it in the front. They're supposed to stock the way, but I don't know if you guys reach around the back when you shop, but I do. Instead, what I do is look at the bottom of the can. That was 2024. So I'm going to label this case. Everything in this case is 2024. So I'm going to put that on there. See that? November 15, 2024, which is actually pretty good. Okay, this works so much better for me because 2023 is on top, 24 is on bottom. I can easily access. Now, you guys know Publix doesn't have flats. So I go to Walmart. Anytime I go, I just pick them up and I just use them for whatever. Makes it easy. And the rest is fairly easy. I put lighter things on top. However, I will add a support to this. I might go ahead and add two just because it makes me feel more comfortable. I've measured for my half-gallon jars. Look at this, guys. I absolutely love this. Measure for what you need. I hate all that empty head space. And I can easily slide it in and slide it back out without it bumping. Those are quart-sized jars. I always store mine back in the box when I put them back. It also fits my Cafe Bustelo, which I got for Christmas too. It's amazing. And it fits number 10 cans. We skipped the shelf with the pint, but meat fits here. There's a little bit of extra space there, but I'm okay with that. But if you'll look at the tuna, I can actually take the one in the back and stack it and make them too high. So that's not that much excess room. And then this one actually fits 3 flats if I use the smaller can. So I can get a lot on the shelving unit. And back down there is my chunky soup. I get 2 flats of regular size cans. And on the very, very, very bottom, I get 2 flats. And I can also store baskets, which is where I'm going to put like my potatoes. Now, I don't put things like onions there because that's why I left that little hook up top. That's how I store my onions. It keeps them away from my other food, which makes it do stuff weird like sprouting and smelling. So I tie them in pantyhose, and when I need one, I just cut it off and then I keep going. So that's how I do mine. Okay, guys, that's it. No magic tricks, but just easier for me. So everyone does it differently. Watch the videos, listen to people, and do what feels right for you. But there is no one way that you have to do something. So I hope I helped in some kind of way. Until next time, guys, be happy, be healthy. Most importantly, stay safe.